What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and we have a quick Miraculous news announcement. We don't get a ton of these. We haven't, at least a lot lately, but this is actually a super cool update, which leaves a lot of questions. If you don't know, if you're not following Jeremy Zag on Instagram, go follow him right now. He's, of course, the creator of Miraculous Ladybug, and he just posted a picture 2 days ago featuring Marinette / Ladybug standing on top of a building in New York City, and he says Ladybug and NYC coming soon, hashtag Miraculous Ladybug, hashtag NYC, blah blah blah, all the hashtags, get that SEO popping. But this is very, very interesting. This art looks super gorgeous, and it leaves a lot of questions as to what is going on. So as you probably know by now, the entire show has taken place in Paris, and exclusively Paris. It hasn't been anywhere else in the entire world, and it's always been like in the daytime, which is ironic because the theme song says, oh, at night I turn into Ladybug, boo boo doo, but literally every episode besides the Christmas special takes place in the daytime, but that's neither here nor there. So this leaves a lot of questions. Why is she in New York? This is like super big news, and Jeremy Zag is like pretty well known for just spilling out all the information. Like, it's super funny because Rebecca Sugar and like Alex Hirsch and Darren FC, like, they're very secretive with their lore and the little hints and backstory of their shows for Steven Universe and the Star vs. Force of Evil, Gravity Falls, all those type of shows. They're very secretive. We have to kind of guess for ourselves and theorize. But with Miraculous, Jeremy Zag's like, oh, you want to know who the B Miraculous holder is going to be? It's Chloe, and Ollie's going to get a fox, and oh yeah, the Peacock Miraculous is going to come, and they're a bad person, and here's what their Kwame looks like. Oh, and they're going to be Hawkmoth's boss, and he's just super generous with the information he gives out, much more generous than the other cartoon creators. I don't know if it's because he's foreign or what's going on. Oh yeah, we're making a live action movie. It's not coming out for 3 years, but we're making it and it's gonna happen. Like, he's just super open with the information he gives out. And this is no exception, of course, but we have Marinette in New York City. So what does this mean? I don't want to talk too much about it because we actually have a full-on theory about Miraculous and the future of Miraculous, but I want to kind of give a little taste of what I think might be going down. So, as most of you know, season 1 was very freak of the week-ish, and by that I mean every episode is very episodic. Every episode has largely not much to do with the previous episodes. You can mostly, honestly, skip almost every episode if you wanted to, besides like Origins, Pharaoh, and a couple other ones. But largely, none of the episodes had any real lore development, any real backstory, like almost the entire season 1. And part of the reason for this is a couple of things. One, they were given 3 months to write season 1, which is not a lot considering it was like, I think 26 episodes, something like that, and every episode is 22 minutes long. So imagine the entire season 1 of Steven Universe, but they have to write it in 3 months, and that's not a lot of time to create something very substantial and create a world, you know. And I feel like Jeremy Zag and the rest of the writers had an idea of how they wanted this world to go because they've been creating this show for a long time. They had a vague idea of where they were going with it, but I feel like they didn't have enough time to really flesh it out because whatever, Nickelodeon, whoever, was like, do this, and you have 3 months, go. So they kind of had to do a lot of episodic stuff. A lot of the villains are very lackluster, not really interesting, obviously. A lot of them are pretty goofy, especially the guitar villain, which is his actual name is Guitar Villain, because that's the best they could come up with for some reason, even in the translation. Not sure why that is. But yeah, so this show is very episodic, not very story-driven until the Origins episode, and like I said, little tiny tidbits every couple episodes. And this has been a common theme for basically all of Western animation as of late for Steven Universe. Again, mentioning the same shows, Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Star vs. Force of Evil, all these shows that are relatively story-driven kind of start off very quote-unquote fillery, not very important to the overall story that is coming, but they leave you little hints of the lore and the backstory of the world and just give you tiny little tastes and like stuff in the background that you wouldn't necessarily notice until later, and you go back and watch, you're like, oh my god, that means blah 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 blah. Like the mural, we still don't know what the mural in Steven Universe means, so like stuff like that. This is a common trend, and I feel like Miraculous kind of took that to a new level where it was extremely episodic and almost no information was given until literally the very end. And that's another common thing, is the end of season 1 Again, for all of these shows for Western animation, usually it's like, oh man, okay, this is a different show now. Things are about to go down. This happened for Steven, this happened for Star, and it happened for Miraculous because they showed us the origins, and we got, a taste of the other Miraculouses. We got Master Fu, and it was super interesting. So I think now what's going to happen is season 2 is on the way. We know they're making season 3. They've got a lot more time to write these episodes for this season than they did for season 1. Season 2 is coming out in May, but I think what's going to happen is, if you notice, all of the side characters have been akumatized for the most part, other than like Marinette's parents and stuff like that, little closer characters to the main characters. But pretty much every student, most of the adults have been akumatized at this point, so there'd be no reason to akumatize them again. So I feel like they figured, you know what, let's put all these characters in this season, let's akumatize them, and that'll be like little episodic, unimportant episodes for the most part. And it's just kind of to let the audience get to know the characters within Miraculous and the world of Miraculous. But I feel like now season 2 is on the way. We know Chloe's getting to be Miraculous. We know Alia's getting the Fox Miraculous. We know someone is getting, probably Natalie, is getting the Peacock Miraculous and is going to be Hawkmoth's boss. We're digging more into Gabriel Agrest's past and Mrs. Agrest's past and what it all means and how it all connects. We know Master Fu now. We know there are more Miraculouses. Jeremy also confirmed, because he's very lenient with the stuff he confirms, he also confirmed there's a second layer in the box of Miraculouses. So there's Miraculouses we haven't even seen visually yet. So there's tons and tons of lore surrounding this world, clearly, that I feel like season 2 is going to dig into really heavy, especially since everyone's been akumatized pretty much at this point. There's only a few more people to get akumatized, so I feel like season 2 is going to be, okay, let's round these Miraculous up together and let's get a greater evil going. And now we have the Peacock Miraculous holder. So I feel like what's going to happen is this show is going to get a more dramatic shift and a more serious tone. They're still gonna have the goofy, fun episodes like, ooh, I'm a girl, I have a crush on Adrian, but that's definitely gonna happen, no doubt. But I feel like we're escalating into a more global problem and a more global threat that is looming. And I feel like this is why Marinette is in New York, because this global threat has reached the United States. Who knows where else it could go. It could go other places in Europe. We might even see Asia, which actually that would make total sense. We'll probably see Egypt, considering that is the origin of the Miraculouses. So I feel like this is accumulating into a more global, epic battle. We'll probably still get episodic stuff, and I feel like this is why we see Marinette here in New York, especially since he says coming soon. So we may even actually see this in season 2, even though this feels more like a season 3 thing. He says coming soon, and I don't know if he would tease this, or like, granted, he teased the movie already, and that's not coming out till 2019 at the earliest, but I feel like this is accumulating to a more global threat. Now, what could happen, unfortunately, is if Marinette does go to New York, what they might be trying to do here is make it extremely episodic again, because, oh, they're in New York, and now there's new characters that they can interact with, and all those characters can become akumatized, and they can just basically rehash season 1 into season 2, but make it in New York instead of Paris. I hope they don't do that, but it is a possibility. But I feel like we're getting something in a more grand scale, and who knows, maybe there's more Miraculouses outside of Master Fu's box, and they're all over the world and like every continent, and that'd be hype. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how this world, because this world has so much potential. That's the thing about Miraculous. Even though it is kind of a flawed show, I love it. I love the show, but it is flawed. It does have goofy moments, dare I say cringy moments, but I feel like the show has so much potential for some awesome stuff, awesome lore, awesome backstory, and I feel like we're going to learn more about that. He already confirmed we are going to get a full episode dedicated to the past Miraculous, so I feel like that's going to tie into the new Miraculous that we're going to be seeing, and hopefully, like I said, there's even more outside of Master Fu's box, but I think that's why Marinette's in New York. This probably went on way longer than I was expecting. Yeah, way longer than I was planning on. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what happens and what they do with the new environment and the new setting, and I wonder how many characters are going to cross over. Is it just going to be the Miraculous holders? Is it going to be all the characters? Like, why would that happen? So I'm very curious to see it as to what happens, but I guess we'll find out in May. But what do you guys think of this picture? What do you think is going on? Do you think there's going to be a global threat? Do you think they're just moving to New York for some random reason? What do you think is happening? Let us know in the comments down below. As always, you've been tuning in to Cartoon Universe. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Michael Williams, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.